Greetings. It's me, Wayman29 again. This is a reply on purgatory. It's going out to Jesus Freak 777. And, not very sure where he got his information from. I don't even know what, would qualify him to talk about Catholicism, because he's not Catholicism, and he is evangelical. And two different sets of belief systems, two different sets of theology, and very dangerous. At any point, I just wanted to ask him a question. This question would be, I already know the answer to it, I'm sorry. I shouldn't, it's not even a question. The ideas about theology were composed around the image of Christ. And that was after the death of Christ. So probably the earliest text, I don't know, some debate. Maybe it was James, maybe it was the Apostle Paul, but we're gonna say like around maybe 30 to 40 A.D. They started composing. Mark was probably 60 A.D. and Luke and Matthew were probably 70 to 80, and John was 90 to 100. And as the progression happens in those time periods, the theology was built, composed, and was put out in a text format. So, that greatly impacted the views that we have today about how we read the text, especially the earliest text, on the New Testament. And Jesus had 12 apostles. He picked 12 people who are all very much different. You have Thomas, who's seemingly agnostic in the end, who doesn't believe, and he's allowed to put his hand in the wounds, and that's really loaded because I have a lot of respect for Thomas because he got to do that. Metaphorically, he got to put his hands in the wounds. And that's saying people need to question, people need to figure everything out before they sign up, because it's very important. The stories of the betrayal by Judas Iscariot, his character is very interesting also. So then after the hanging, it appears that the Apostle Paul ends up claiming that. It's through theophany that he makes his claim as an apostle, and I'm not even sure how legitimate that would be, even though he says it is legitimate. Of course he would, if he wants to write. That don't make sense at all. You could tell that he has Gnostic background, because when he writes the earliest form, he uses a lot of ideas about the Holy Spirit and the talking about the Christ within, which is kind of foreign to the earliest stages of Christianity. Then after all that, after 100 AD, Jerusalem temple's destroyed. People feel extremely bad about it. You have early church fathers who debated and decided what New Testament theology would be put forth as the official theology. Then you have all kinds of ideas. You have the Reformations. You have all kinds of splits, especially done by the Protestant groups, on what they feel is the most important theology. So, it ends up being that what we have today is dramatically skewed. And that's why I have always thought that if I can read the New Testament without all of today's theology being read into it, if I can read the Tanakh, or what Christians would call the Old Testament, without all the New Testament theology read into it today, I would have a better understanding of what the writers were actually trying to say. Because half the stuff that we view, half the spectacles that we view the text with today, when we read them, they voted on what text we read and what text got in. There's some very important things out there that made huge contributions to our ideas on theology and the Jewish ideas on theology that we don't even read today, unfortunately. But some of us, we go look for that and we do read it, and it's amazing stuff. So all the issues on purgatory, I don't know anything about Catholicism enough to talk about it. My wife's Catholic. I'm Protestant. I don't know enough about it to talk about it. But when I went to college, I took a class. It was a New Testament class. I didn't go to Bible school. I went to a Catholic school. So I got a Protestant background with a Catholic education for the arts. I don't know, go figure. Anyways, it was really interesting. I found out that the idea of, I don't know if it was purgatory changed, or the place where infants would go. Don't even know what that is. I can't remember it offhand, sorry. But somebody out there does. You can help me out here. That was changed from being closer to hell to a spot just before heaven. So dimensions changed. It's pretty amazing that you could change whole dimensions. And our idea about the end times change all the time. If you go out, and I'm sure you probably have the whole series of The Left Behind. It is the most modern day thinking of the end of the world scenario today. Before it was communism. And you can look through history, starting at the burning of Jerusalem, Revelation, and all the way up till today. Almost every century is marked by certain ideas on how everything would go down. And it's still continuing, and it will continue. And I guess we use the metaphors as a way of dealing with certain issues in our group and our belief system. So, I don't know. I just think that some of those other things need to be considered. I'm just the guy in the back raising his hand and asking a question. So, I'm not putting you down in any way. You could be very well read in your medium. However, I'm kind of viewing that from the outside. Preacher Man 777 ends up breaking with tradition at some times and has some really good ideas out there. So, I don't know, this wasn't made to be a commercial or anything, but just wanted to put those thoughts out there, and that I disagree with you. Alright, take care.